relationship. She was kind of isolated out, didn't have much, didn't have anybody. She worked at a little restaurant, and lo and behold, here comes Johnny Smooth. He was a detective, and they set that all up, but he turned out to be an abuser, okay, and a narcissistic sociopath, psychopath. And unfortunately, in her case, he had connections in their town, and he was in law, so he was corrupt, okay? He was corruption in the law enforcement agency, the police stations, and things of that nature. So for her to get free from the abuse and toxicity was going to require a lot of sophisticated navigation, help, and her training herself to defend herself, which is something I recommend. It's something that I'm getting into, and especially as a woman, I invite you all, if it's in your budget to do or find something, to take self-defense classes similar to what we saw in the movie Enough, so that if it comes down to that, you can whoop ass if you got to, just like she did in the end. Okay, so now with that being said, it may not necessarily be pertaining to the physical. This could be something to do energetically, spiritual, people that are bullies, narcissists, karmics, things of that nature, people who know gangs and, have connections like that, but they appear to be these upstanding citizens of society to others on the outside, but they deal with gang bangers who will take $500 to beat up or kill somebody, okay, and threaten somebody and blackmail somebody, and to get somebody to not say nothing, or to get somebody to give somebody the money, or, you know what I'm saying? All these tactics. And unfortunately, this is a karmic template. That's the karmic energy. I certainly believe that's the case with my family. I believe that this is going to resonate with what's going on in my situation. Okay, but this is a collective reading, so I do also understand it's going to be a mixed bag. So please only take what resonates. So let's get some overall energy here. Light team, what is the overall issue or the overall topic, issue, or energy surrounding this topic? Enough. For the collective, for the higher vibrational beings, those that are awakened or those that are newly awakened and healing and going through the dark night of the soul. Okay, what is this about, this enough? Okay. Yep. I see it already. So I have it in reverse. It says, forgive the fuck out of somebody today. And it's in reverse. Okay. So it's about somebody didn't want to give someone, I don't know if you guys can see it, somebody did not want to give someone a second chance here. And because of that, somebody felt like they had a right to bully. Somebody felt like they had a right to threaten. Somebody felt like they had a right to beat up somebody. Somebody felt like they had a right to steal something, and they are going to burn and bang. FBI, if you're watching, this is pertaining to my situation. So I guide you guys to continue to look at those who have followed me, those who have subscribed to me, those who have made nasty comments and deleted and erased comments and accounts. But I know you guys have access to that. Somebody didn't want to forgive nobody. And it could, and this may very well also be for the collective of individuals that I read for. They didn't like that somebody didn't want to give them a second chance, okay? So that, hold on. So sadness is in reverse at the bottom. And that just lets me know that they didn't care, that they derived joy out of bullying somebody. They derived joy out of trying to make me fearful. They derived joy out of possibly making my counterpart feel fearful, okay? For not forgiving and giving a second chance, which is classic for narcissistic, psychopath, sociopathic energy. FBI, CIA, a check of mine or my son's. Okay, she's the one that possibly held something that belongs to me. Okay. She was the one behind the TikTok stalking and bullying. She was one of many. She is also possibly one of many who was going on my TikTok and creating other profiles with my picture, with my name, with my angle, and with my content, posing as me in various different platforms. And started paying attention to the signs, to unleash creative ways to get away from these sociopaths here. And in the past, somebody didn't, okay, which got them in a situation, and then somebody started paying attention, and then decided what they decided, and then everybody started fighting and bullying and threatening and all of that. Entrapment. Okay, so to trap somebody, and now somebody is trying to heal from a toxic as fuck family, especially mine and my counterparts. Okay, he has friends as well. You might want to check social media, Facebook and Instagram. There are 2 friends in particular on an Instagram with the counterpart. There are locations in which it is legal, so look into that. All right. So let's get a situation here. Before we get that, they want me to get a romance angel. We may not be doing tarot. I thought we...
Let's see.
Because he could have found out truths and started saying stuff which made him not attracted to her anymore, which only brings the fury of a narc. I experienced it myself with my own sister, so I know what I'm talking about. Unrequited love here. Okay, so it was never no real love there. He could have told her, I don't love you. There could have been the fight here. Like I said, somebody didn't want to forgive, and they could have said, I'm not attracted to you. I don't love you. And the truth probably came out, which was essentially he only was there because of the spells, the sex magic, and the money. Okay, and when the truth started to come out, it probably disgusted him. And when he got sick and tired of dealing with her and all of the shit she had him doing, he probably told her, listen, I don't forgive you. You're crazy. You're scary. I want to get the hell out of here. And she took joy in that because she's power hungry. She is a sociopath. She is gone. She needs medical attention. She tried to claim like I need it, and she probably tried that with him as well. Not to say he couldn't use his own help, but she is far past gone. She needs psychological evaluation. For the higher realms that understands energy and past life things, she is my past life karmic, one of them, as well as my counterpart. And in the past life, the last time, she was in the insane asylum, and she went crazy, and the obsession was the twin flame journey. The same story played out. I invite you guys to look at that reading because that will help make sense for those of the higher realms that are understanding energy and doing investigations based on that. Okay? She knew it was true love. He could have told her.
Child, let me get past that.
I thought you said you didn't care about her. I thought you said this. I thought you said that. Because they got into all that stuff for all the wrong reasons. And at the bottom of the deck, I have leaving you hurt me too. So they could have said something like, in the moment, I didn't care. In that moment, I didn't care when the shit first happened. Okay? But with this leaving you, I feel like they could have communicated, I didn't care, but this has hurt me. Leaving her hurt me. Or something to that effect, okay? Or whatever happened to them, if there was some abuse in this tussle that caused some kind of physical harm or something, the karmic was like, in that moment, I didn't care about what they did. And then the masculine could have said, leaving you hurt me too. See, here's that trauma bonding. Okay. What else? That's what led to getting them trapped, you know, that back and forth energy, that classic abusive relationship. You are not part of my plan. So look, it's in reverse. So they did not want these masculines to exclude them from their plan. Yeah, with that entrapment energy right there. So that's why they set that up. And they felt like it was easy to do. So like the masculines could have had like weaknesses and gullibility, and because of that, they used that to their advantage. In my case, my sister is much older than my counterpart. Okay, justice and justice will be served for certain.
All that now.
Okay. Yeah. And I think he finally told her, like, I know more than you think, because she thinks he didn't know the fullness, right? And told her, I don't need your approval. I know more than you think. I'm not coming back. And this is where the attack and the revenge kicked in.
Of course.
Because she didn't want, she was in denial. Yes, it's too late, it's in reverse. She was in denial, delusional, as is typical of karmics. Because he told her, we are not right for each other. Okay? And she wanted to be in denial about that. He told her, I don't trust you. Okay? He told her, you're easy to see through. So she just kept doing this stuff back and forth, and he ended up getting entrapped. And I believe there's a lot of foul play. I'm not for certain if his father is still, to be honest, because I don't even know that. If he's not dead, he may be in silence somewhere. They may have his fucking ass tied up somewhere. But if he's gone missing or some shit like that, check his family and check mine. Check these social medias if he ain't in jail. Now, if he's a part of it still, then this would be the both of them together. I haven't really did it in that way to determine the separation of energy. This is simply picking up what led to what happened between them and why the bullying energy came in, why the tactics came in here. The threats, the obsessions. Yeah, the interlude, pause, timing factor. So they've been waiting and watching, trying to figure out, they're watching me and stalking me to figure out if he's come to me or not, or if he's communicating. My whole family knew. They lied to me straight up. My mother lied to me. These people are liars, okay? And they're done. They must pay their debt according to the full extent of judicial law, both in an energy world and on the earth this lifetime, for what they've done. Yeah. Archangel Michael, yep. For who the fuck they really are, which is narcissistic karmic lunatics, black witches. They wanted to try to interrupt divine synchronicities of the twin flames. They're obsessed. Some of these people were all in insane asylums in another lifetime, and they followed us back in this one, and didn't want to get well, and then try to project their mental illness onto us. And it is not mental illness for us. It is traumatization from their fuck shit, from being narcissistically abused and gaslit covertly, which is the most insidious form. They pop up, they're controlling, they lack boundaries, they're highly manipulative and greedy and selfish and petty, and have no regard for no one else's lives. If they would do this crazy shit to my disabled adult son that ain't did now nothing to nobody on the earth because they're sick and fucking empty and looked at him as pickle parts, then you know that they're a lunatic's gone, reptilian mind, gone.
Reptilian. Understatement.
Yeah. They tried to come up to some settlement and agreement so that he wouldn't tell me, so that he wouldn't come to me, so that he wouldn't give me what was mine. They had him so afraid that he had to make comments on my platforms under different
Child, this is crazy.
twisted and insidious to frustrate the twins. So as the twin would watch to make them feel some kind of way about.
Now I want to pause. I know so much more to date than I did back then about this very reading. This very reading. Okay? It's not far off. There's just layers and more understanding that I get. And for me now, when you hear me say twin flame, I've really kind of gotten away from some of the stuff because I'm starting to realize how much programming and what the powers that be have been doing. So I'll just say, anything that's benevolent in nature and that is going to create conscious expansion for a being, they fight against any such beings that are like that, whatever you want to call it. They fight against that because with that is tremendous power that they cannot hold or control or dictate, okay? And they are afraid of that. Now, in terms of the karmics that shows up in this reading, which, you know, in this case, it was about family and two other karmics, a masculine saying enough, a masculine, some dark, distorted witches, gang bangers, religious zealots, theft, threats. It says something about threats here that have gone off. And this is a reading pertaining to a masculine that finally got into, he was entangled with all of the shiznit. That's what's unraveled in the reading. He was involved with these, you know, karmic families and different distorted witches and warlocks and all of this weirdy shit. But something happened along the way in the reading, and they end up turning on him in some kind of way, like physically assaulted, threw him under the bus, something to that effect. And that's classic. That's gonna always happen. It happens to both karmic masculines as well as divine ones. It doesn't matter, okay? Because when they stay too entangled, it's gonna go there. It's just gonna get there one way or the other. The honeymoon is gonna be over. It's gonna be the highs and lows, the classics, but essentially they are betrayed. It always ends that way. And so even when they try to disguise this and cover it up, it just do. That's what I've seen. It just does. So now I have learned that even like flip the roles, because both men and women do this, okay? Karmic men and karmic women, or people who are operating out of that energy. A part of the obsession of this particular sibling in the reading, okay, that has this obsession regarding divine feminine. A part of that obsession is, you know, with her men or the men that she's been with, it's not just what you all have been thinking. Like, they were just so obsessed with divine feminine and so obsessed with wanting to look like her and be her and have what she has and woo-dee-woo-dee-woo. That's why they go after all of the men she slept with after her sloppy seconds. And, you know, that's not really it. Yeah, she's obsessed. They're obsessed. But they're wanting to siphon the energy of divine feminine via the masculine fucking divine feminine. And then fucking them. Yep. This is why you all hear me say stuff like, you know, coming to the divine feminine, absorbing her essence, and then going to all these other women and or men, because in some cases it's women and or men. Okay, and that's what it is, especially the ones that are distorted witches and warlocks that know about energy and about the transference of energy. And so their obsession, it's like they both have an obsession with divine feminine's energy. So this is why that whole song and dance goes a long way, because it's a high, it's an adrenaline rush. They're both in toxicity. They're both, entities, plagued with all manner of evil, bitch. They it's just whatever. It's like just disgusting. It's just fucking disgusting. And so they unite in their shared hatred. This is how this works. This is why it works. Because they unite in their shared hatred for the divine feminine. And to be honest, what they don't like about divine feminine in truth is things that they actually like about her. Ironic, that's an oxymoron, but it's the truth. Because it's things that they envy. And that they do not embody. But they feel like they would be better at it, So it's kind of like, it should be me. We can do it better, It's deep, okay? So it's like they get such a thrill out of the stealing, out of the torturing and the torment and the harassment. This is how they feel important, out of the betrayal even. For a very long time, this is what even makes these karmic dynamics even live and thrive, because they live and thrive. They're chaos. They're agents of chaos. They are agents of chaos. That's the only way they live and thrive. Listen to me. This is not meant to be, I'm not saying this in the way to make it seem like people are better than others. It's just that when you're in that kind of conscious state, that kind of frequency and mindset, these types of people only thrive in chaos. They only thrive in catastrophes and causing problems for people and being messy and being a bully and being aggressive and attacking somebody. And that's the only way they feel relevant. That's the only way they feel powerful. That's the only way they feel seen. That's the only way they feel important. Otherwise, to them, life is boring if they're not a part of some fuck shit. If they are not stealing something from somebody, if they're not ganging up on somebody, if they're not hurting someone's feelings or trying to break someone's resolve, if, they feel like life sucks if that's not happening. So this is why it's so much fun for them. These karmic dynamics and these men, these masculines that come across divine feminine's energies and do them really shitty, and then they partner up with all these toxic karmic women via their family, their friends, their lovers, exes, and they thrive in this whole betrayal and ganging up upon and humiliation rituals. But what ends up happening as the divine feminines in this reading and in this type of collective, as they just continue on, that healing or that ascension or that remembering, the dynamics change over the years. The dynamics change, okay? And because of that, within the divine feminine, it's a ripple effect. Okay, because she overcomes, she deals with what she has to deal with, she keeps moving on. Okay? And then when she puts these boundaries up, see, this is why you hear a lot of readers talk about, you hear a statement like pulling the energy back. So when feminine continues on and she really sticks to boundaries and like she cuts people off, she don't let them in and out, not even on a friendship level. She's like, absolutely not. You're not honoring the energy. You don't get access to the energy. We're not going to do the song and dance. I'm not going to give you 30 ultimatums. I'm not going to hold your hand like you're 4. I'm not going to try to do the sandwich approach and all this, gymnastics to do some basic communication. Is either you honor my energy or you don't honor it. And the moment I feel that it's not honored, I'm out. And a part of that is if when you do me wrong and you do not make proper atonement for that within a reasonable amount of time, then I am going to cut you out of my energy. And as a result, Divine Feminine does that, so stuff starts to dissipate in karmic world. And when I say dissipate, I'm not talking about materialism, because usually they be scheming, so they be on a high of that too. But when I say dissipate, is the thrill, the high, the Divine Feminine's energy that has been feeding each of them and feeding their relationship to begin with. Feminine no longer cares, so it's nothing that they do and say can hurt her. She gets clarity, she gets the truth. And so what they wanted to be some major end for her just only perpetuates her growth. And she loses interest. She gets bored of the whole dynamic and essentially, goes on another route. So this is why they then, at this point, amps it up, which is what this reading, which I did 3 years ago, what it's about is people, these karmic, religious zealots, these dark witches and warlocks, these gangs, all these people that involve these karmic families. This is why they amp up their strategy. So they start threatening people. They start amping up their spell work. They start amping up their stalking. They start, doing all these things, because as this stuff starts to change and people are breaking free. I've been saying this for years. Nobody listens though. It's okay. It's okay. Because it happens first when Divine Feminine does it. She gets the brunt of everything. She's the front runner, and she gets the brunt of everything. She's getting energies from everything. When these men be on they bullshit because they got their nose wide open, they pussy whooped, you know what I'm saying? Because sex magic is on they dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Or, clout chasing, power chasing, money chasing. So they be, they head be up these hoes' asses and shit. So, when that's happening, and then they be all nasty and ridiculous towards Divine Feminine on top of these people, on top of just, you name it. Okay. So eventually, I told y'all, it happens. I swear it happens. It happens with karmic men. It happens with divine masculine men. It always do. It may be late in the game, but it still happens. Because it's a shit show. I don't know why this is hard to understand. It's a shit show. It's gonna always be a shit show. It's a performance. It's theatrics. For all intensive purposes, on the surface, to the blind eye and the surface and shallow individuals in the world, it looks for a very long time like a dream come true, but that's because there's a lot of good actors in the dynamics. But if only you knew. And when some of these masculines, I'm not saying, we're not trying to portray in this reading that the masculines are innocent. That's not what the reading is. But when they get to a certain point, some of them do. Now, some of them don't. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some that go into the grave, nigga. They go into the grave just as crazy as they was the day they met Divine Feminine. Okay? Others, they get their ass whooped by life based on what they did to her. They do. Whatever they did to Divine Feminine, I swear, whatever the fuck, whatever they teamed up and did, I promise you they do. Okay? That's their lot. And at some point, some of them with that pain, because they did some skanky shit with these niggas and bitches. Now, with that pain, with all of that they experience, some of them go through their dark night of the soul, and some of them get to the part where they like, I don't want to live this way no more. It's not so much, just about, oh, I love divine feminine necessarily. Not so much. Sometimes they discover that, but really, I don't want to live like this. This is ugly. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I've been in my old ass. They start looking in the mirror. It's like, this is what I am. This is what I call life. This is what I call living. This is what I call being on top. This is what I call thriving. This is ridiculous. I'm kind of not a good person. Ain't no kind of about it. This is not a good person. Is this what I want? Look at the pain I'm in. And guess what? The pain that I'm in is the pain that I've caused for many that didn't deserve it. So some of them come out of it, and that pisses people off. And you know what happens as a result of that? The same thing that's been happening. When divine feminine starts shaking chains and all of that stuff, it pissed people off. And so what did they do? What do people do? I call it project sabotage. How dare you get free? How dare you get away? Like you're some fucking object, like you're a prisoner. How dare you not just how dare you not just die on schedule, right? Because you were how dare you have a voice when you were supposed to just be in the corner and just too played by our spell work and our strategizing against your life flow? How dare you not be trapped by us and not be finito? So they amp up the stuff because of that liberation. Same shit happens to the masculine. It's no different. But the only added element is, depending on the depravity of some of these karmics, and when I say depravity, it depends on how mentally ill they are. Because it's not all one and the same. Okay, some motherfuckers do know how to just go on with their get up. At some point there's some motherfuckers that's like, okay, they may slit your tires, but they'll, after that, they're moving on with their life. So it depends on the level of their sickness, the level of their codependency, the level of their mental illness, how deep, how wide, and how long that's been going on. Because what happens then when these men get away, because again, it's still the entitlement, it's the same story. If these men, just like with the divine feminine, same difference. If these men were pussy whooped, controlled, their nose was open, okay? Old school saying, that sound when grandma, their nose open. Pussy whooped. That's sex magic. Okay? On top of, depending on what his bents are, because it's always going to be based on the masculine. So if it's about looks, if a person just look a certain part, and so they want to be able to like take the person around because they're eye candy. If that's his big deal, so he can feel like he the shit among the fellas. Okay? So all the niggas, what I'm saying, can be like, y'all know how they act. Okay? If that's what he owns. Otherwise, if it's money and status and houses and all that, then that's the bent. That's the reason why they'll lean towards a certain woman. Again, same difference. So essentially what I'm saying is, under the thumb and the grips of Jezebel, under the thumb and grips of these incubus, succubus motherfuckers. Because that's what they are. When you move Move the body. We're talking about energy here. I'm not going religious. I know you all hear religious people talk like that. That's not the space I'm coming from. Because there's a whole lot of religious people talk like that and they got that thing all wrapped around them. It's not just about sex either. Sorry, wrong. See, but see, that's where a whole lot of people get stuck too. Nah, it's deeper than that, baby. So the bottom line foundation of that, all you gotta do is pay attention. It's control. Even if it's passive aggressive control, even if it comes in a soft, docile voice, even if it comes with a doiting, because see, sometimes that's all still, it's just the softer side of it. Okay? Even if it comes with making your favorite birthday cake, and cause see, people be thinking, surely that can't be, you know, they're always please. You just please, you late. You late in the game. You late. So if they had, let's just say, they had their grips on these men for a long time. Some of these cases, they didn't have grips on some of these men 5+ years. You hear me? Now can you understand why some of this stuff goes the way it goes when these men get free? Because these women didn't been their ruler for 5 years. Why all of a sudden they done been their ruler for 10 years. They done been able to come in and out at will for 10 years. They done been able to have access to his dick and his wallet for 10 years. They done been able, so why now? They don't take that lightly. So when it happens, guess what some of these energies do? It's their mission then becomes, I am going to ruin this man and anything that he loves and anything that I think he loves. And then I'm going to ruin the one that changed it all, even if he never gets to see her again a day in his life, even if he never gets to be with her again, because hell, she may not even want to. Doesn't matter. But the one that seemed to change it all. Because see, in most cases, these women already know they're dealing with, because they done all the shit together. Because sometimes it's sister wives, they done all switchy swappy roo, they done all whoop. See, sometimes they already know what the dealio is, and everybody cool with that. You know, some of them have a polyamorous, some of them have an open relationship, and there ain't no judgment on that. That's not what this is about. The whole point is that, so what's so different? You know what I'm saying? These men, you know, they had that dynamic with these men for so long. So what? They could go fuck whoever they wanted to fuck. They Bonnie and Clyde together, scheming niggas and bitches together and shit, whoop, doing their little pillow talk, you know, whoop. Hell, divine feminine in some of the cases was one of the damn schemes. So, you know, it's like, well, so why is shit changing now? This was a scheme. This was entertainment. This was for some little change. This is so y'all can get that car you needed. Why now? And that pisses them off because look, in most cases, divine feminine, depending on the seasons that these things happen for these different divine feminines. But in most cases, I'm gonna say it this way, she appears to be nothing. And the only reason why that is because she has had a shit ton of people from the day she was born sabotaging her. She appears to be nothing. She appears to be going nowhere. She appears to be a nobody. She appears to be too plain. She appears to be, you know, all these different things. So can you imagine then to these women how that feels? Because see, it's one thing if somebody, let's say, you know, a masculine decided to change because he, you know, the woman of his dreams, let's say some famous actress or whoever these men, you know what I'm saying, would say that about, whether it's physical, money, everything, woman of their dreams. They would be pissed about it, but there'll be a part that go, well, yeah, shit, he didn't, shit. You know, that's the person, that's, you know, but for it to be someone who is considered to be less than based on all of these individual standards, because I didn't say she was less than, I said she appeared to be to them based on their standards. Okay? For that to be, it pisses them off more. It's like, my body is better than hers. My hair is better than hers. I have a car, she doesn't have a car. I have a car, she has a car, mine's better. She don't have a house, I have a house. But she has a job, mine's better. My macaroni and cheese is better than her macaroni and cheese. See that? But have you noticed that everything that they say is typically surface? Notice love is not mentioned at all. Not because it's not really about that. Not for them. I have more money. I have more access to the elites. You know, I have more connection. Oh, Cyrus. What's the Lord? Okay, what's the matter? It's okay. What's your matter? I gave you food. What's your matter? What's the matter with Osiris? Is it time for me to get off? Okay, come on. It's okay. It's okay. Again, and I'm gonna go because it's time to go, and it's because I need to go do some things. I can already tell, and I will handle that. But so these people erect vengeance out of this world. So they're gonna assault these men when they do get free. Their whole, you know, their mission becomes they're gonna ruin these men's life if they can. They're going to explain any secret that they have about them, the same way that they try to do Divine Feminine. Any secret they ever known or had about them, they're going to do humiliation rituals on him the same way they've been doing humiliation rituals on Divine Feminine. Okay? And then they're going to try to go for her. And if they're super psychotic, yeah, trigger warning, they're going to try to unalive them, possibly both Divine Feminine and these men if they can. Because some of them are that gone. And you know what? I hate to say it because we want to believe that it's for TV. You know, this is that TV and everybody but us. But no, it's real. Because people are gone in the head. People are that gone. And I know it sounds offensive to a lot of people, but when you've lived what me and my son have lived, then you just don't care no more. Because what's offensive to me is the fact that it fucking happens. Offensive that people are that loopy in their fucking head. For anything. See, to me, and that's just me, okay? For anything. I don't give a fuck. For a shot at a fight. For a fucking, to me, you fucking loopy. You're loopy in the fucking head. I make this joke, and I know people get tired of saying it, but that's how I feel. I like making puns and shit, because I'm like, that's the shit. That's what it come down to. Let's take the fluff out of it. Let's just go ahead and reduce it to its smallest common denominator, nigga, and let's just make this shit basic. Anything for a fuck, a buck, a taco, and a truck. When you move all of the fluff, that's what the shit come down to. I'm sorry. Move all of the fluff, all of the nuances and variables. It's coming down to some basics. Why some of these people go that far. Mental illness, undiagnosed, out here creating mental health issues for those who are actually not mentally ill. By being bullies, criminals, thieves, tyrants, terrorists. They're mentally disturbed. Okay? And I'm sorry, whether you're a man or a woman, I can't understand on any end of this thing. We've all been hurt. Get on, I know it's like, don't say that, Brandy. I know it's deeper than that, but it shouldn't take us to those places. If we're going to those places, we need our head checked. We are fucking head checked. We're not the first to have our heart broken or to be betrayed or somebody to play you or, I did, okay, well, okay, whoa. It's over. Grab our lesson, or shit, sharpen up, some, shit, whoa. Live your truth, speak your truth, but that's a lot different than this type of vengeance. That's not the same. I've done stuff, for people and men that I've been with, in my past, and I didn't get into this energy like this is what I'm saying. This is crazy, yo. I can't do this. This is crazy. That's why people should just stop. Like, dude. Just stop. Don't do shit for people. My pearls of knowledge that I want to say is don't do shit for people if you gonna want to kill them if y'all don't make it. Okay? Don't do shit. I'm gonna say it again. Don't do shit for people if you're going to want to kill them. If y'all break up. Don't give them no car. Don't give them no money. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing if you're doing something is only okay as long as you are in a relationship, and then the moment it ends, then you want some kind of vengeance on everything that you ever did for them. See, these kind of people don't know how to take a hit. They don't know how to take an L. And understand, like, that was okay, I was in that relationship. Okay, what am I going to take with that? Okay, it's a loss. It's okay, I was with them. I cared for them at that time. I did that, whatever. Whatever. That's how you know people ain't right in the head. A lot of their behaviors start to help you to see how not right in the head. Like, how far does this go? Because it's not about, listen, and even in this reading, this got real dark, and I may go to the end of it here because this was an assault. A physical one. Spiritual ones has been going on. That's what they do on a daily. Energetic, spiritual shit. But this was a physical. A physical. So let's see. Because I think FBI was involved in this reading. I don't know if they're crooked or straight yet, but let's see. I did this 3 years ago. And yes, my readings are timeless if you're wondering.
Anything else? I'm not sure if this person is involved, but it wouldn't hurt to investigate it because this was one of her longtime Johns, her longtime connections that she had under one of her spells. Anthony Miller.
Oh, I was.
You guys may want to ask him some questions about her, even if they're no longer in dealings with each other. He may know something. I have page 35 of Pornhub in reverse. Okay, so I feel like what happened is the divine masculine started trying to free themselves from their addictions here. Okay. They started trying to free themselves from their addictions because that's probably how they got connected in the first place. Okay. It fell over here. So yeah. They could have been like, look, I don't want to do this anymore. Right? And
I just had said
pulled out method. Okay. She can't even get pregnant. FBI, whoever the higher ups, like,
let me get out of here.
And genital areas and things like that, and tying them up and having them all stretched out. This is real. Okay.
Whoa.
Bloodshot eyes. Yeah. So she started more spell work on him to make him tired. Okay.
They are notorious.
Unwell, so he could have got poisoned. He could have got sick.
That's notorious.
Yeah.
That's common. That's common amongst the
She crazy. Voices in the head. Talking about she pregnant. She can't be pregnant.
Oh, girl.
He could have had someone else though, outside of her. Like he could have gotten someone else pregnant.
It's always
because they lived a very like sexually open lifestyle, and she allowed him to do whatever, which is a part of why he allowed himself to stay stuck in the stuff to begin with. Okay, so I know for certain he was dealing with other people. And I'm not sure how recent this is, but you all may want to look into Sierra Powell.
I called another name on
connected with Sierra Powell, possibly. I'm not for certain, but that could be someone that he ended up being involved with, getting into something with, and having a kid with, and so she could be. I don't know. This is crazy.
Who is that?
Look, severe childhood trauma. These people are traumatized, and they were projecting it out on me and everyone else. Yeah, she used blowjobs and stuff. It says here, huge but in a non-threatening way. Penis, extra long uvula. So she was doing a lot of blowjobs, the double-ended dildo stuff. She's using people's social security number. I can tell you that right now. She's used my social security number. She let her kids use my social security number. She used my son's social security number. They used my social security number, and I'm sure she used his to do fraudulent things.
This goes for
this
all karmic dynamics,
police report in the Metropolitan Police. If you guys want to look at that summary, it's there.
I have a copy of that with me now.
She has bad vibes. Something's not right with my family and some of his friends either. They're into some toxic, dark shit. Yeah, she's probably porno. She's probably a porn star now, or she, when she got the surgeries and stuff, she started selling. Okay, award-winning porn star, unrequited love. All right.
That's the thing. People
claiming a latex allergy, so people would have sex with her without the condoms for the blood and stuff.
Oh, that's because
local sheriff. She could know someone, so there could be some corruption in a local sheriff.
And that's common.
That hid things or tampered with things on her behalf because she may have been doing stuff with them. Y'all may want to look into that. If it's not her directly, then it could be like the baby mama, the other one. Okay? Chamber of Secrets. So the prostitution she tried to put on to me was the prostitution she lives in. Okay? Yeah, flavored condoms. So she really used the blowjobs. Or he could have tried, because, you know, he could have tried to be creative before he left her and didn't want to exchange fluids in her mouth anymore and didn't want, you know, I don't need to gross anybody out. But that was probably his way before he tried to escape. Like, look, I don't want her fluids. I don't want any of her shit. You know, but if she's insisting, we can do the flavored condoms. You know, because fuck that.
And masturbate shit.
I don't want her playing with my blood anymore. I don't want her claiming that she's pregnant or somebody claiming they're pregnant anymore, whether this is my sister or one of his other karmics, okay?
And I have new information about all that too.
Yeah, she had an ass job. She puts fat in her ass so she can, she had a lot of surgeries done here.
Oh yeah.
They were doing drugs together, but then talking about Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
See, that part be tripping me out, man. That's the part I be stuck on. I'm like,
so she claims to be Christian and godly and all that stuff, but yet do all this dark stuff. And that's all the karmics that I'm referring to in this reading for the collective as well as myself here. Okay? Okay. Latex allergy. I told you she claims to have a latex allergy so she can get a hold of men's semen, and then so she can play pregnant and get documents and so forth to get people to give her money and have sympathy on her. She's done this before. She did it in California when she was much younger to her last two father, where she literally went to a hospital so she could get the actual bracelet put on her arm. Because they were going through some type of changes. I want to say this is before her middle child was born. So she did that. I was there. I saw it so that she could sit and lay on the bed and cry, acting like she went to the hospital and had a miscarriage. She had the bracelet on her arm and she had the paper. So she's very sophisticated. I'm only saying this to say she is sophisticated in doing those types of things. But she got herself tied up a long time ago. Okay? Bad vibe, social security number. Yeah. She's committing fraud. She's using people information, and she has purchased several different social security numbers.
Oh, yeah. But they do some of that under the, like, there's, when you get into
she's
business,
depressed, and it led to depression in this situation here. Because she acted, but they tried to act like sugar and spice and everything nice. They could be even still acting like that, but they're not well. Okay, she's not well. And she has a shitty podcast. So she copies me. Yeah, everything that I do, she has tried to do. She talks about behavioral health and mental health, and she needs to go and be seen. Exclusive clitoris. She has addictions. She has sex addictions.
But that's not new either. That's not.
And this is for all the karmic feminines that's resonating, that goes with this reading for the collective I'm reading for. Okay, I'm saying she referring to my aspect of where this is fitting for my own personal situation.
But that's the karmic women
on behalf
that's in
of
the
the collective. We're going to get some possible initials. FBI, CIA, local law enforcement, investigators, whomever. Possible initials of the karmic feminine energy here. Possible first, last, and middle initials of the karmic feminine energy. We have R and we have T. My sister's middle name is Trees. It's actually Detrice, but we call her Trees. First, middle, last initial of the karmic feminine energy, L-O. One of her last names is Osby. First, middle, last initial of the karmic feminine energies here. Okay. J and E. So it could be what, Jennifer. Actually, no, Jennifer. This may be, maybe masculine, because now I have B. The first, middle, last initial of the divine masculine. Yeah, we have YTRH. Fell over here. That's being hunted. Okay. First, middle, last initial of the divine masculines. That's being hunted down by these feminines in their groups of people. CZ. Okay. T and F. First, middle, last initial. S. Okay, in my case, it's Scott. His middle name is Scott. We got S twice. We have J and we have N.
Because we end up having multiples, don't we, Divine Feminine, when y'all come on this video? It's like, because they be getting gonged, and then it'd be like...
D and Y. Okay, until I'm told to stop here.
Religious
clergy leaders and affiliates. So there's actually religious clergy leaders and affiliates that's actually involved. So there's some corrupt clergy. Like I said. Your last X is X. Your last X is X would be my sister.
Ooh,
and whoever the karmics represent,
so it
or the collective that I'm reading for.
And in this moment,
and then here you go. Here's another confirmation. There's the M for Marlena.
Oh, M for who?
Okay, but it don't have to be. But these are just some possible initials that are involved in this karmic situation here, where somebody and everybody, divine masculine said enough, feminine Ben said enough, but these lunatics are obsessed and insisted upon trying to kill us. Trying to keep us separate, trying to get us in prison, trying to keep us trapped and set up, using our information and data to sign documents, to forge documents, getting people to do it, to get us entrapped, bring them down. May justice prevail. And I'm asking my spiritual light team of the high.
Yeah. Okay, and this is true, like I said before, earlier in the live here. Reframing it based on where I am in my progression in life now. That's a 3-year-old reading. Okay, so they're always trying to set up any beings. I'm gonna have to keep saying that. This is the way it is. What if I told you a lot of the stuff that they like to call crazy? This is all designed. It's by way of the energy manipulation that they're doing. We've learned about these torture projects, right? We have learned about MK Ultra. We've learned about, energy manipulation by these distorted witches, warlocks, and cults and covens that a lot of the world is not privy to, okay? But also, even the physical sabotage, the covert style of coercion and abuse, where you're going behind the scene, basically throwing rocks and hiding your hand in order to sabotage somebody's life, hopefully to get them to utter frustration and exhaustion, and create the mental health needles that they then want to use to say, we should, have power of attorney over them and over their money, or, get them entrapped and imprisoned or sick in some kind of way, to be able to step into their energy and their destiny and everything that belongs to them. It is a strategy. And though this is not just simply about this surface kind of cutesy love that most of us are referencing and used to, it's a really deeper than that when you're talking about beings that are coming into expanded consciousness. So I'm rephrasing from saying twin flame to beings that are evolving past this template, that are remembering, which is like kryptonite to the system that benefits off of us not. So if you want to demystify it in that way, so that you don't feel like it's just about, a certain religion and it's like, no, it's any being. It's any ones that decide to do that in the idea of those two. That's the problem. They love exploiting situations. If they know that they can get, two together and have one exploit the other down, that's the bread and butter of the system as we know it today. That's what keeps it thriving, baby. Stay toxic. I'm just saying, that's what keeps it thriving. Just come in with all our addictions and our wounds and shit. Bring them in, bring in the holes, some of them matrix, men and women alike, by the way. Our vulnerabilities, oh, they're broken. And they make sure to break you so that they can do you see the cycle yet of how they be doing it? Let's render them, let's put them in a corner. Let's corner them and let's limit and restrict everything so they'll be forced to have to fuck with somebody. And we'll bring them in. He'll be our handler. She'll be our handler. And they'll come in like a dream come true. It's what they do. It's what they've always done. Because it's going to be based on that. And that's a part of the conscious expansion. It's difficult. Don't beat yourself up. We all go through this, in terms of, because they study you. Don't feel like you were stupid. Nah, baby, they were studying you, honey. You ain't stupid. They studied you. They studied you and was watching you long before they approach you. They get information from whoever is giving them the assignment so that they can, so they can break through. Oh, she's about family, or she's her focus is her son, and her, this is where she's at. They give you a little file, a little folder. I'm serious. This is where they're at in life. They have gone through a lot. She's learned a lot. She's pretty powerful, but she's actually vulnerable right now. She won't fall for the exact same things that she has before. So now here are some cool tips to be able to break past her defenses, because she done already dealt with the smooth talkers. She done dealt with Mr. Smooth, Mr. Fine. She done had, that kind of shit. And so now she gonna be like, So her focus is on her health and her well-being, and her focus is on, her son is the supreme importance. So if you go in really acting like you want to be those things for her, you're more likely to get in. If you go in acting like you care and want to be solutions to things in her life, she is more likely to let you in. If you seem to value her where she's at, because she feels low because she is under a shit ton of spell work and she has had a lot of shit taken, and on top of that we didn't put her in some very toxic, poisonous, inhabitable environments to make sure, to make sure. So she knows she's beautiful. Her self-worth is there, but she's feeling tender right now. And so, if you go in and really make her feel, like she's, like she's beautiful where she at with her towel on her head and everything. Go in there and make her feel beautiful, and she be more likely. I'm telling you, they coach these people. They coach them along the whole way. Every argument, they manufacture the ending. They the whole shit. The whole shit is some cold shit in it, but it's the truth. We gotta remove. I had to take off the scales about humanity. Not so much just men. I had to take them off about humanity. I had to take them off. Like, bitch, nah, you're dealing with a whole lizard. These motherfuckers, you dealing with whole, yeah, I know they look like you, they look like you, they walk like you, they talk like you, they have jobs and careers and children and all that. They go to synagogues and churches, but these motherfuckers killers and stalkers. These motherfuckers is loose in the head. And better see it for what it is. Otherwise, shit, cause you can't even, nah, these motherfuckers be smiling at you while they putting something in your tater chips. Something wrong with them. Something wrong with it. You can talk about humanity. Oh, humans, you know, the basics of this used to be me. You know, humans are, you know, the essence of good. No, they're not. No, they're not. Most of them anyway. No, they not. No, the fuck they not. They refuse. They don't deal with their shit. And they're not introspective. So as a result, they go around crazy. We all got our issues, don't we? But not all of us became killers. We all got issues and struggles, don't we? But not all of us become super weirdo, lifetime stalkers calling ourselves a private investigator. We all got issues, don't we? But not all of us are willing to take blood money willingly, but expecting our homes and children to be snug as a bug in a rug, and we out here, you know, doing shit to disrupt other people's families and other people's homes. See, that's delusion in itself to me. Sorry. It's delusional. You're out here trying to disrupt something for somebody and you really think it's not going to last very long. Not when the right light one comes in. Not when this happens. And when they call it, it's just a matter of time. I had an interesting experience. I don't know if I should tell it or not. That this just happened this day. It happened today. But all I'm going to say is this. That thing, I'll say this word, bad. But whatever that thing was, while they was twirling and dancing, while the light one is doing the work and cleaning up and trying to take the voice and the essence, Ursula Sea Witch, you're in for a little surprisey.